Hello, everybody. Thank you, Maury, for presenting, introducing me. So, as you see, we have a lot of functionalities in Ingenuity, new functionalities, old functionalities. And when we are developing new functional, new features, we're also creating documentation for users, how to use it, right? So that's why we decided to leverage like technology breakthroughs and use language model to answer questions for our users, how to use Ingenuity and so forth. So this is right now design how it will look like on Ingenuity 7. So on a here on left side on the menu here will be a chatbot. Well, will be like open or like you can open it and ask questions. So this is how it will look like. So what we done here, so we gathered all the user manuals. We are creating new user manuals along with when we're developing new functionalities and like organizing it for our users, for different clients, for different products. In the future, we might split it for, I was thinking when I was listening to Denise, so logbook, let's say, might have like separate chatbot to answer questions about logbook and so forth, or just general for Ingenuity. So this is how we organized our data, because when we are talking about like machine learning or language model, it comes to data, how accurate, how precise your data is. So in this case, we know exactly, right, how Ingenuity works. So we organized all this documentation with links, video links. We're recording we're posting on YouTube or Vimeo our user manuals. And we developed Ingenuity 7 chatbots. So for this, we are using OpenAI. Similar, we could use different language model providers, but we used OpenAI. So this is how it looks like. I don't know how many of you are using language models, but if you do, probably you know how it works. So you're just opening a chat bot and starting asking questions. So these are few initial questions, random questions we can ask and test. I think that we can share in fact so this link so you can try and play with it. How can
Yeah,
I do?
I've put it in the chat
Okay,
already.
okay,
If anyone
okay.
would like to do this in parallel, the link is in the chat. Please feel free to
Yeah.
open it. And maybe Sitsi, we start with something interesting. It's simple, and just say like, how do I make a totalized calculation?
Okay. Ignore misspelling because language model is that smart to understand even my bad spelling.
Pretty good.
Cool.
So it's maybe worth mentioning that I don't know if you have the help documentation there, but you could almost put it side by side, that this has been trained on the documents we've written. And if one read those documents, you would recognize some of these replies.
Also, I saw in Q&A, I don't know, I don't know if it's correct or not, but I saw the question from someone. So, and I tried it about asset optimization. So I asked, it was in the chat, I just copied and asked. So this is the answer about asset data model. So Maury, if you can take a look and how accurate is the
Yeah, I don't think that would have answered the question in the chat. It's relevant information from the documents, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the question is certainly quite an advanced question. Probably this is
Okay.
really more targeted at users who are trying to do something and maybe would want to know how do I add a series to a chart?
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's answering the question uh, based on documentation we have here.
yeah.
So if we go here and edit, so for example, this is prompt, what we, this is the order we gave to language model. And here we have a documentation, organized documentation, help pages, and so on. So this will answer the questions it has information about. So
Uh,
hopefully not come up. Yeah,
So one of the
please.
things you could highlight there, Sitsi, is that we've got the release notes. We're adding the release notes into it. So you can ask it what features were released in, could you say latest release, or do you need to give it an exact tag?
Mm,
And for anyone who hasn't built a GPT agent before, which is probably most of us, because I hadn't, it's very interesting how you give it instructions because it's fairly straightforward, but you have to teach it things. For example, for the release notes, we had to teach it the relationship between something in the release notes and an epic in our JIRA tasks. So our backlog is managed in this system called JIRA. Sitsi was able to also import that, but we need to tell the GPT how to relate the two things so that it knows that an epic in JIRA is a major feature then in the release. So when it sees an epic has been released, that corresponds to a major feature.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. So what's important is that people do try and tell us where it's missing information, where it gets it wrong, because we have to continue to teach it and improve its knowledge over time.